The hidden economics of owning a theater. Sam used to stand outside the movie theater in his town, staring at the glowing marquee, thinking the exact same thought almost every single weekend. Whoever owns this place must be rich. Big crowds every Friday night, sold-out shows, long lines for tickets, popcorn machines running non-stop. In Sam's head, the math seemed obvious. Hundreds of people paying real money every single day. Owning a movie theater looked like one of the most obviously profitable businesses a person could dream of. Years later, Sam actually got the chance to look at the real numbers behind a theater business. And what he found completely flipped everything he thought he understood about money. The movie theater business does make people wealthy, but almost none of that wealth comes from the thing you'd expect. And once you understand where the real money actually comes from, you'll start noticing this same hidden pattern in businesses all around you. Problem setup. Here's the belief almost everyone walks around with, without ever questioning it. A packed theater equals a profitable theater. More people in the seats, more money in the owner's pocket. It feels obvious. If 200 people just paid $15 each for a ticket, that's $3,000 for one single showing. Multiply that by several showings a day, several movies a week, and the number gets enormous fast. This is exactly the kind of math Sam used to do in his head as a teenager. And it's exactly the kind of math that's almost completely wrong. Here's the part that surprises nearly everyone the first time they hear it. On a brand new blockbuster movie, during its opening weeks, the movie theater often keeps very little of that ticket money. Sometimes as little as 10 to 20 cents of every ticket dollar actually stays with the theater. The rest goes straight back to the movie studio that made the film. Read that again. A packed house on opening night, the exact scenario that looks like the theater's biggest payday, can actually be one of its least profitable nights once the studio takes its cut. So if ticket sales aren't where the real money is, where is it? Core explanation. This is where the story gets interesting and where Sam's entire understanding of the business flipped. The real profit in a movie theater almost never comes from the screen. It comes from the counter next to it. Popcorn, soda, candy, nachos. That $5 box of popcorn that seems almost offensively overpriced compared to what it costs at a grocery store, that single item can carry a profit margin north of 80 to 90%. The studio doesn't take a cut of concessions. Whatever the theater charges for that popcorn, the theater keeps almost all of it. Think of it like this. Imagine the movie itself as the bait and the concession stand as the actual hook. The film is what gets a person to walk through the door in the first place, but the moment they're standing in that lobby, smelling that popcorn, waiting in line before the show starts, that's where the business quietly makes its real money. This is why theaters are often more excited about a long line at the snack counter than a sold-out screening on its own. A movie with mediocre ticket sales, but a lobby full of people buying large combos can outperform a fully sold-out show where everyone rushed straight to their seats. Here's a simple way to picture the actual math. Picture 100 people at a theater. Their ticket money mostly flows through the building and back out to the studio like water passing through a pipe. But the money they spend at the concession stand stays. It pools. It builds up. That's the part that actually belongs to the business. This single shift, understanding that the ticket is the invitation and the concessions are the income, is the entire foundation of how movie theaters actually stay profitable, especially in the current era, where fewer people go to theaters overall compared to a decade ago. There's a reason theater layouts are designed the way they are. Notice how almost every theater forces you to walk directly past the concession stand to reach your seat, even if you had zero intention of buying anything when you walked in. The lobby is rarely just a waiting area. It's positioned as the most valuable few square feet in the entire building, because that's where the actual profit gets made. The ticket booth gets you in the door. The walk from the ticket booth to the theater door is where the business earns its keep. This also explains something that used to feel confusing to a lot of moviegoers. Why does a smaller independent theater sometimes survive for decades in a small town, even without blockbuster crowds? While it seems like it should barely be scraping by, very often it's because that smaller theater has a loyal, repeat concession-buying crowd and much lower overhead, rather than needing constant sold-out blockbuster blockbuster nights just to stay afloat. The business isn't surviving because of the movies. It's surviving because of everything happening around the movies. Insight section. Now here's the psychological pattern underneath all of this, and it explains something far bigger than just movie theaters. Most people judge how profitable a business is by looking at its most visible, most obvious activity: the big screen, the packed seats, the thing the business is famous for. But the most visible part of a business and the most profitable part of a business are very often two completely different things. This same pattern shows up everywhere once you start looking for it. A gym's main product looks like the equipment and the classes, but a huge portion of gym revenue comes from memberships paid by people who rarely show up at all. A gas station's main product looks like fuel, but fuel often has razor-thin margins, while the snacks, drinks, and coffee inside the store carry the real profit. A theater's main product looks like the movie, but the movie is often closer to a loss leader, something that exists mainly to get people through the door. This is why Sam's childhood assumption that a packed theater automatically meant a rich owner wasn't foolish. It was actually a completely reasonable assumption to make. Our brains are wired to associate visible activity with financial success. Busy equals profitable. At least it feels that way. But busy and profitable are not the same thing, and confusing the two is one of the most common financial misunderstandings people carry into adulthood, whether they're evaluating a business, a job, or even their own spending habits. There's a deeper lesson hiding in here too. The businesses that look the most glamorous from the outside, the ones built around something exciting like movies, concerts, or big events, often survive because of something far less exciting happening quietly in the background. The unglamorous popcorn counter is doing more financial heavy lifting than the blockbuster on the screen. Real financial success is very often built on the boring, overlooked part of the equation, not the exciting part everyone notices first.
Practical takeaway. So what does this actually mean for you? Even if you have zero interest in ever owning a movie theater, it means the next time you're evaluating any business, any investment, or even any opportunity in your own life, the right question isn't, what does this look like from the outside? The right question is, where does the actual money stay once everything else gets paid out? This applies directly to how people think about their own income too. Someone's salary might look impressive from the outside, the way a packed theater looks impressive from the outside. But just like ticket revenue flowing back to the studio, a large portion of that salary might already be spoken for before it even arrives, going straight to rent, debt payments, or fixed expenses. The number that matters isn't what comes in, it's what actually stays. If you're ever looking at starting a business, or even picking which side hustle to pursue, ask where the real margin lives, not just where the attention lives. The flashy, exciting part of an idea is often what pulls customers in the door. But the boring, repeatable, high-margin part sitting quietly beside it is usually what actually pays the bills and builds wealth over time. This is also a useful filter for evaluating advice you hear about money in general. When someone describes a business or an investment by talking only about how exciting or busy it looks, that's worth a second look. The businesses and habits that quietly build real wealth are rarely the ones getting all the attention. There's a practical version of this you can start applying immediately, even without owning any business at all. Look at your own monthly spending the same way you'd look at a theater's revenue streams. Some of your expenses are like the movie ticket, unavoidable, largely fixed, flowing straight through to someone else the moment they arrive. Things like rent, loan payments, or insurance. But other parts of your spending work more like the concession stand, smaller individually, easy to overlook, but adding up to a much bigger share of where your money actually goes than you'd expect. Subscriptions nobody remembers signing up for. Small delivery fees, convenience purchases that feel too minor to track. These are the financial equivalent of $5 popcorn, easy to dismiss individually, but often quietly responsible for a huge percentage of where your money disappears to every month. The same lesson works in reverse when you're trying to of where your money disappears to every month. The same lesson works in reverse when you're trying to build wealth, not just track spending. People often search for one big dramatic move, a huge raise, a lucky investment, a viral side hustle, the equivalent of hoping for a sold-out blockbuster. But just like the theater business, the far more reliable path to profit is usually the boring, repeatable thing sitting quietly in the background. Consistent investing, small automatic contributions, unremarkable habits repeated for years without much excitement attached to them at all. Nobody dreams about the popcorn stand, but it's the popcorn stand that keeps the lights on. Ending. Sam never did open that movie theater he dreamed about as a teenager, standing under that glowing marquee. But understanding how the business actually worked changed something bigger than just his opinion about movie theaters. It changed how he evaluates everything, from job offers to investments to entire industries. He stopped asking, "Does this look busy and impressive?" He started asking, "Where does the money actually stay?" That one shift, looking past the obvious and asking where the real value quietly accumulates, is often the exact difference between people who just watch money move around them and people who eventually understand how to build it for themselves. So the next time something looks glamorous, busy, or obviously profitable from the outside, whether it's a business, a job, or even a lifestyle, ask yourself the same question Sam eventually learned to ask. Is the real value happening where everyone's looking, or is it quietly happening somewhere else entirely? Comment us that if you want a video on any other business. If you want more such videos, like and subscribe to join with us and get financially free. Thank you.